What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony and Michelle, and we are discussing season 2, episode 5 of House of the Dragon. And the first thing I want to say is I am so tired of this Harrenhal story. Like, I mean, it's interesting on the one hand because I know it's gonna affect Daemon's state of mind as he moves through this, and we see it pulling different things as far as his commitment to Rhaenyra, his desires to be king, and all this other stuff. But y'all went a little too far. Y'all could have told us Daemon had mommy issues without the scene that y'all gave us. Y'all went a little too far. I think the only thing that saved it for me is the fact that I know that Daemon lost his mother when he was really, really young. So I don't think he was actually thinking that was her. And I think Alice Rivers is, or whoever the ghosts of Harrenhal are also fucking with his head. That was just, it was just, because I thought it was Emma at first. I was like, oh, was he coveting his brother's wife too? That would like add a whole different layer. And then when she said, "You are my favorite son," I was like, wait.
I know. And then that point, I'm like, I think it's time for you to get on your dragon and go home.
Right.
Right. Talk to your wife.
He needs to get up out of there.
Right. Because it's slowly going down. Not slowly. It's going downhill.
Right.
My only like real issue is it throws the pacing off. Like we go to Harrenhal, everything like slows to a crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And then it picks back up. You go back to Harrenhal, slows to a crawl. It is so different than anything else that's happening in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because it's making me think like this is an episode of the show The Haunting of Harrenhal.
Yeah.
That should be on Netflix.
I've actually
it's
seen,
like
yeah,
two different shows. However, he still needs to leave to join the regular show.
He does. But I think I can understand what they're doing because it's almost like you're trying to isolate Daemon because he is isolating himself from the rest of the story. He's isolating himself from Rhaenyra. One, because he's still warring with himself over the fact that he feels like he needs to be king. But at the same time, he loves Rhaenyra and, pledged himself to her and to her being queen. So I understand those two things are warring. And I guess whatever is happening inside his psyche is supposed to help him, I don't know, make a move one way or the other, which I think we kind of sort of see in this episode because he does kind of make it known that he is going to declare for himself. And he says it specifically like Rhaenyra can't ascend because blah, blah, blah. So I'll go to King's Landing. I'll take it for myself. And then she can come and be my consort. I was like, dude, that's not how this is about to work. It's not how this is about to work. But it's just, I think at this point, everybody is sick of Daemon. Sir Simon Strong, let me tell you, he is quickly becoming one of my favorite characters in this series because he is looking at Daemon like, if you don't take your ass home, like you are the king consort.
Yeah.
Consort.
What did Daemon say? He said king. He's like consort. He's like
just drop
the last part.
Yeah, he was like, I think that that last part is a bit unnecessary, don't you think? Simon Strong is looking at him like, this nigga don't go home. Right. This fool don't go home.
I need for Daemon to also keep his distance from Alice Rivers. I think he needs to just nip that in the bud and stop accepting drinks from women you do not know.
And now, because I don't know what she's doing to him.
Everything that's happened now, and she kind of mad at him. Please don't eat. Please don't eat the food.
Don't drink the wine. Don't eat the food.
Just Just go.
Just go home.
Just go home. I
Go.
mean, just go home. You are slowly losing your
First
mind.
of all, you need to tell Simon Strong to give you a different bedroom, which I don't think is going to matter if any of the other beds were made from the heart tree. You just need to go home.
I don't think it matters.
You just need to go home.
Because it's like you are in a dream state because you're not even with what is happening outside of that place. All the things that are happening. The only thing you do know and everyone can agree on is Aemond should not be the king.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But like, even when you go to threaten it was the Brackens he was threatening. I feel like there's this one meme where it has written like Bracken black. What is the other ones? Green. I was like, I feel like we need to do that because I feel like we keep reversing them when we're talking about them. But
yeah, I feel like I have reversed them a couple of times.
Yeah, I think we all have. But it's like, even when he goes to confront them and he pulls the whole, you can either bend the knee to me or you can die. And I was like, one, you said bend the knee to me, not bend the knee for Queen Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
I noticed that. But then when they turned around and walked out, they were like, we'd rather burn. And they walked off and he's sitting there like, I did not think they would be so eager to die. I'm like, because Daemon, nobody's paying attention to you right now. You are just a small, like everybody knows you're crazy. Yeah. And I think if they have to choose between Rhaenyra and you, especially since it has somehow gotten out that Daemon was the one who orchestrated the murder of Jaehaerys, everybody's like, we with you.
Yeah. Right. And that group, they've been fighting another group for so long, they don't even have a reason to fight them. They like, we don't care if we die. This is how we feel.
Speaking of that, I'm a little, I know Daemon is off, but like even when dealing with the Brackens, when he was talking to I guess Laura Blackwood, I thought he would at least say, find out what it is they actually want. Like, you gotta, we figure out what they want and we can give it to them and maybe they'll come on our side. Because
that's not Daemon.
Well, because no, I'm saying that's what I was hoping he would say. Because, looking at the situation, they've been fighting for so long. Why are we fighting? Let's find out why we're fighting and try to figure it out. But no, he's like, whatever you need to do to convince them otherwise, you can, the crown can't be seen taking a part in it. That's not good. Daemon don't need to be giving out orders to people.
Yeah, because you don't know
give out these vague orders and let people just run with it. And then he'd be like, oh, but that's not what I told them to do.
Right.
Bro, that's what got you in trouble the last time.
Right. And you saw the Lords of the Riverlands, they shut up at that castle at whatever time in the morning while he was asleep.
Yes, ma'am.
And they basically were like, we're not here for you or your shenanigans. And I was like, if you're sitting here and this whole group has come and basically told you, fuck you, because that's literally what that amounted to. And he's, again, like you said, he's not even present in the moment.
No.
He's sitting there seeing his dead wife saying, are you taking care of our girls? I was like, girl, that's a big fat no. He ain't even conversed with them since you died. But
and in contrast, you got Jaehaerys talking to the Freys, and he basically said, you know what do you want?
Baby,
like they're going back
you.
and forth. He said, you know what do you want?
Jaehaerys, Strong, Valerian, whatever you want to call him, he has quickly become one of my favorite characters in this series. Because he was like, okay, so we need to get things done. My mother he knows his mother is headstrong. He's like, okay, you know what? She's going to try to go do this. Let me go try to get some results so that she doesn't have to do this. And I love the conversation they had after he came back from the phrase, because he really thought like, okay, she gonna be mad. And she was like, I'm proud of you. You've really done our house a service. And for them to have that kind of conversation again, I've been talking about this the last few episodes about the respect that they have between this mother and son, as opposed to on the green side. Jace has become one of my favorite characters because he says his piece, but he's also open to listening and learning. And then when he gets that piece of that nugget of wisdom, like, okay, well, you don't have experience, you need to do this, you need to do this, or you don't need to do this. He was like, okay, so she doesn't want me going out on my dragon, probably because she doesn't want to lose me like she lost my brother. How else can I get this experience? What else can I do to help this cause? Because as he says, this is your claim, but it is also my claim as well. Because if anything happens to Rhaenyra, it passes down to him. And he don't want to inherit no bullshit. So I think he understood, especially after last week when his mother was trying to tell him, look, I inherited 80 years of peace. My goal was to find a way to avoid war. I think Jace is still trying to, even though you have these losses, you've lost Luke, they've lost Jaehaerys, you've now lost Rhaenys, and everyone is reeling from Rhaenys's loss. But I think he's still trying to figure that out. Like, okay, how can I help my mother in an effective way and show that I am meant for this? Like, he is actually making well-informed, well-thought-out decisions. He's talking it over with the people closest to him when, he could have easily just shrugged Baela off and be like, this is my inheritance, I'm going to go do this. No, he sat there and talked it out with her. I'm very quickly loving him and Baela in this season. Like, they are young, but they are very intuitive. They're very intelligent. They're very open to listening. They're open to learning. They are, and they are also not afraid to speak their minds when they see that their elders are out of line. But again, they do it in a way that is respectful to where these people listen to them and not just brush them off because they're children.
Yeah. I think it's cool that she let Jaceres know that she wasn't mad with him. She was just upset that she didn't get a chance to go out and do something because she's stuck there at the castle, at Dragonstone. And it seemed like he looked like he kind of acknowledged and accepted that.
Yeah.
And a little interesting note to that relationship right there, where you're actually communicating your thoughts and feelings, even though you're queen, to your son. Hint, hint. I'm just saying, because we're going to get to this with Alicent and her children. But just a lovely, comparison there with relationships. She's like expressing like, yes, I may seem upset, but I'm really not upset at you. Just of the situation I'm in. I can't do nothing.
Yeah, like I'm stuck here. I have all these other people, and she feels that tremendous guilt about Rhaenys. She was like, other people are out doing things and dying for me, and I can't do anything. And he was like, well, you're the sovereign, like, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But he also understood, because he literally was the same way. He was like, let me go do this, let me go do it. No. Well, let me go. No. So he understands that. I mean, imagine, he's a child. She's a grown ass adult, and she can't go do anything because of the fact that she's the queen. So, yeah, I tell you, I love their relationship, and the conversations, and Jace is proving himself. Like, he's the one who's sitting here having the conversation with her about, hey, maybe we can find some other people to ride these dragons.
Okay, that's at the end. That's at the end, right?
Yes, but
let's not get there yet.
Okay. You don't want to talk about that now since we talked about them? You want to wait?
Not yet.
You want to wait?
Well, let's kind of stay on Jace and his interaction with the phrase.
Okay.
Which is what got us here.
Let's pray pie. Okay.
No, because Lord Frey was driving the hard bargain. He was like, we're afraid of Aegon. Because I do know that's something that they're not doing. That's from the book that Aemond was flying around Riverrun burning shit while all this is going on. Like he was just basically doing like guerrilla warfare with his dragon, and had like the Riverlands like all in a hussy over Vagar.
Aemon trying to cover his ass right now. He trying to make sure his brother ain't finna wake up and speak his name as the person who melted his armor to him. But that we'll get into.
Correct. And I'm still feeling like he could go in his room at any point, take a pillow and smother him in his
he
sleep.
Can't, too many people are looking at him, and Alicent and Helena already
they know.
Their womanly intuitions have already kicked in. They already know.
They know.
So he just,
and Crispy Cole know too, but he like,
Crispy Cole is scared of Aemond because that was not what he was expecting Aemond to do. That's why he's sitting there not saying shit.
Yeah,
that's why.
So what happened? I don't know.
Oh no, I ain't seen
how he get burned.
But I think
I don't know. I ain't seen that. What did you see? I ain't seen
he
nothing.
Got PTSD though. He got PTSD because what he saw, he's like, you know what? I can't do nothing.
No, you want to know what the issue is?
I'm done.
Cole and Aemond were conspiring together. So if Aemond is the one that attacked the king, guess what? People are going to think that Cole was complicit in that. Cole is like, I ain't got shit to say.
And especially, like, first of all, I really like what he said to Alicent. Like, what I saw on the battlefield, what I know what's going on behind close quarters too, is like,
he said, I lost 900 men in the blink of an eye to fire or whatever. Like,
and it's a different type of fire. Just gone. Yeah. Just you seeing like, people. I'm trying to spare you
from these decisions, but we'll get to that too because that's a whole thing with that conversation. Yeah. Well, okay, let's go back to the phrase.
Well, okay. I think I said I wanted to say, but like. Yeah, Lord Frey is he's like, I need protection. He's like,
it's not even Lord Frey, it's his wife.
It's his wife.
His wife is like, hold up. Because if y'all about to bring this bullshit on my property, let me tell you what I want. He drives a hard bargain, but Jace was
at the end though, Jace was like, fuck it. What do you want? Just tell me which one. You want to hear it all? Done.
But you're going to have to bend the knee.
You're going to have to bend the knee.
I was like, you know what? Let me tell you. Yes. Jace is getting.
And I want to tell them so bad. You don't want it. You don't want it.
You don't. But you know what? It may not affect them the way that it's affecting Daemon. Because, again, Harrenhal was taken under bad circumstances.
It is, but it's always been known to be hunted. So I'm just saying, the grass ain't green on the other side. You may want to claim it, but you may not want to live there. I'm just saying.
I don't think people who haven't been there really know how bad the shape and how much disrepair is in. You get there, you're like, well, damn. I mean, most of the rooms don't have roofs.
Right. And the stuff they working on was the same stuff they were working on when Viserys' uncle was king. So I'm confused of how long it takes
it's the same stuff we're working on when the Clegans were there with Tywin.
You're right. You're right. Harrenhal is still in a state of despair.
The Great Hall still has no roof.
Right. So you're sure you want it.
You're sure you want it.
But
But yeah, I respect Jace. Jace got to get head on the shoulder. It's just, knowing how this shit is gonna end. It is what it is.
See, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember if I got far enough to know what happens to his character. I don't think I do, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. But I mean, and I said Jace and Baela have become two of my favorite characters. These are characters that are engaged. in the Game of Thrones world. So I already know my heart is going to be pulled out of my chest. But for now,
well, let's go to Baela and Corlys. So I my heart goes out to Corlys, but Baela sure enough let him know she read him
she did.
from cover to cover.
She did. Again, in a very respectful way.
She did. She said she did not belong to you. That's not all she was.
She wasn't a thing for you to own,
right?
Or a thing for you to claim. You know, she was the queen that never was. She was this. She was a dragon rider. She went out the way that she wanted to. And this conversation comes in the midst of her presenting Corlys with the badge because Rhaenyra wants him to be her hand. And you know, it does seem in a sense kind of insensitive for it to come like literally on the heels of Rhaenys dying. But at the same time, I mean, we have been saying this for the last couple of weeks. Her small council leaves much to be desired.
It does.
And even though, yes, Sir Alfred, like she said, you have demonstrated your loyalty, but you also try me at times. Like they are so, yes, they are disrespectful to her in some ways. And they think because she's a woman and because she's not battle tested. Because she's not battle tested. Hold on, let me finish this.
Hold on, I want to say something about Sir Alfred first because we about to go down this road with the other thing. But let me talk about Sir Alfred. I like that conversation that she was having with him because he has been trying her, but she's sending him to go find out what the fuck is going on with Daemon. She's sending him because she knows she can trust him, and I don't know if he fully appreciated that. Because he's been battling her since day one. And here she is saying, basically, I'm sending you to go to go find out if Daemon is going to be with me or against me. Because he could just as easily join Daemon and be like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to support Daemon. Yeah. But she knows that he's not going to do that. That's how much she trusts him. Yeah. Because she wouldn't send anyone who would flip to Daemon just because he's a man. You know what I mean? And I hope Sir Alfred respects that. I don't know how it's gonna go down when he confronts Daemon, because I don't remember seeing Sir Alfred in the previews for the next episode. So, and, who knows what state Daemon's gonna be in when he gets there too.
Right. So. But I think maybe not mid episode, but possibly by that time, especially because when she came to him, the first thing she said was, "You were right." I think he does understand, one, how big of an admission that was for her, but also two, if you look back to the conversation they had before that, when he literally tries to belittle her about the gentler folk not being wise to the ways of war. She said, "We have had peace in both of our lifetimes. You ain't been to battle either."
Right.
And I think it was like, thank you, because
everybody sit down.
Everybody sat their ass down.
Right.
I mean, she's right. Y'all know wars.
Y'all know. Y'all have no idea.
Blackwoods and all this other stuff. Y'all have been in peaceful times. You've been in King's Landing right along with Viserys and all of them, unless you were on the Stepstones. And last I checked, you weren't. Daemon was the only person who went to the Stepstones because Viserys wasn't getting involved in it. Strictly because we have had peace. We're not about to go get in this war. So I think by that time, he probably did appreciate her a little more. But that small council, they irritate me.
They're about as bad as the green small council.
But you know what? At least the green... We're
gonna wait, because we gotta go back to Corlys.
What does Alicent have to do?
We gotta go back to Corlys, though. We did not finish that conversation about him.
Corlys. Let's go back.
We're gonna stick with the blacks first, and then we're gonna go to the greens.
Okay. Right. So
Corlys.
We wrap him up.
Corlys.
Right. He's about to do what he did before when his kids passed away. Go hide somewhere.
And what did she say? You did it before. do it again.
And you almost died for years.
And like I said, she read him, but she read him respectfully. Like, you're sitting here mourning her now, like you don't have anything left. But the last time you did, like, you spent years away from her. If she was really that important, and I'm not saying that she was saying to him, she's not as important to you as you make it seem. But don't do what you did the last time.
Right. And not
end up with all this regret.
Right. And also him basically saying, like, dude, we're in the middle of war. So if you want to soak off like you did the last time when we really need you. And first of all, if you are really upset, I know you are upset. And I know you mourn your wife. But she was on a mission. She had a cause. So you should fight for her cause to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Not sit here and talk about Rhaenyra asking me to be hands. She's so insensitive. Dude, we're in the middle of a war. When would you like for her to ask you?
Right.
2 months?
The war is not going to stop because Rhaenys died.
Yeah.
Then she said, if you want peace of mind, why don't you just go ahead and go to King's Landing?
Right.
I mean,
they the one killed your wife. So I'm confused. What do you want to do? And now you want to think about giving me, even though she was never part of that conversation. But now he wants to realize, oh, Baylor, I'll give you my kingdom. I don't want it.
She was like, I am fire and blood. Driftmark should go to Salt.
Right.
Makes me wonder if she knows that he has other kids out.
Oh, she knows. I thought about that. She has to know. I think a lot. I think with certain bastards, I think people know because people talk. And I'm sure someone has said something to her or made an offhand comment about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's heard people. She has to have.
Yeah.
And her and Jace probably talk about it. I mean, we talk about everything. We spill all the tea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I ain't grow up knowing, my cousins. They're cousins, right?
Yeah.
What are they?
They would be cousins.
They're cousins.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure,
wait, you talking about Aegon? No, those are
Jace and Baylor are cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Real cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she already heard about who his daddy is. So like we know that it happens.
Yeah.
It's just that this is stuff we talk about to certain people and certain people you just don't talk about. So.
Right. But you got to wonder if Corlys feels any guilt about everything that's going down because of the fact that, like, okay, let's be honest. This whole thing shouldn't even be an issue because it's obvious to everyone that Rhaenyra's children are not Velaryon children, right? So if Viserys had just said, okay, you know what? To avoid all this controversy or whatever, I'm going to claim that these are Laenor's children in public, but Rhaenyra, we need to go ahead and discuss this because there's going to be, I mean, he already knew people were going to be divided. One, at the fact that he named a woman his successor. Two, you're naming a woman who supposedly has committed treason and had children with a man who isn't her husband. Hey, Rhaenyra, you know what? Let's just kind of pull this back. I'm gonna go ahead and like if that had been done, which technically speaking, it probably should have been done, all of this could have been avoided. Corlys, right. You gotta think Corlys Corlys was the one who with Rhaenyra was like, nope, those are Velaryon grandchildren. I'm claiming them as my grandchildren. They are my grandchildren. You gotta think, is he wondering, like, maybe if I had said no, would things be different? If I had named Baela, the successor to Driftmark instead of Lucerys, or if I had named Rhaenyra.
Which he could have, why didn't he?
He's stuck in the same mentality as all the other men in power.
Right, and your own way.
You don't want.
You already said that should have been queen, and here you're doing the same thing and not giving it to your granddaughter.
He looks at her differently than he does everyone else.
And not only that, I think he was probably looking at, he doesn't want his granddaughters to go through the same thing his wife and now Rhaenyra are going through. He might, in his mind, think he's sparing them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
that's a possibility.
I totally believe a woman could be queen, but look at what happens when a woman tries to be queen. Okay, I don't want that for my grandchildren. I don't want someone coming after them, especially after losing Lucerys.
Yeah.
That's probably another reason why he's.
And
But
Raina said
however,
it.
I'm
Raina
sorry,
said
I'm not
Raina
giving them
said it
credit
in
for it because this was happening even before
yeah.
Lucerys died. This is happening when they were literally kids, and your own brother went to court and be like, "What's happening here?"
Yeah,
And lost
what
his
happened? He
own.
lost his head.
He did.
Or his tongue, as Daemon said.
Even though Rhaenys came up with the great idea of marrying the cousins off so that at least it will stay in the family.
Yeah.
That was the perfect idea. However, he still
Well, even okay. The first thing I want to say was Renice said it in the first episode, I think, of season 1, when she said men would rather watch the world burn than name a woman queen.
Yeah.
true.
And that was before that was like even a big issue. But like this whole thing wasn't in anybody's sight. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is why I have a problem with we get off him just a little bit. Well, they're still together. When Rhaenyra was talking to Baela about Rhaenys and said, "Oh, I mean, I really respected her. She didn't care for me much." And I said, "You know what? That's your perspective because if you go back to the beginning, she tried to school you in in all possible aspects.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that some of that stuff you were like, oh, no, that's not me, or you were offended. No, she was really telling you the truth so that you won't have to deal with the stuff she had to
She was trying
deal
to
with.
prepare her.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yeah, she didn't care for you not having her son's kids, but she probably know there's something else going on there.
I was gonna say, I don't think
too.
that's what it was, because I mean, if you look at the way he was when I can't remember the dude's name, but when his lover was killed at the engagement feast, Corlys and Rhaenys knew what their son was. And I mean, even all the rumors during the whole time that him and Rhaenyra were married, there were rumors about him going off with the squires. They knew what their son was. And that's probably why they never questioned the whole thing about the boys, because he claimed those children as his own. Even when we first meet the adult versions of them and she had just given birth to Joffrey, he comes in the doors and he's like, "Oh boy, well done." Like he's excited as if
he had good relationship with them.
I think Rhaenyra is talking about Rhaenys's dislike because Rhaenys was under the impression that she had Laenor killed so that she could marry
right.
Daemon.
And I was get to that part, but I'm saying a lot of it too was just their experience with each other from when she was a kid to when not a kid, but when she was a young lady, and she's not realizing what she was telling her was on the mark, but you're just thinking that this older woman is just being nasty to you,
or she's jealous, or
or something. Yeah, and your perspective of the situation, but looking at it, no, she was kind of on your side, hoping that's why she ends up dead. She was there for you, all along the way.
Ultimately, Targaryens have to stick together, except when they don't.
when their maiden name is Hightower, they don't. But
all this could have been solved if Otto had just said, "You know what? Aegon had 2 wives. Why can't my grandson have 2 wives?" And just have him marry
the oldest sister,
Rhaenyra.
Yeah, and that probably would not have happened. Because I mean, if Rhaenyra at the age that she was turned down, was it young Lord Bracken or Black? The young
It was
Lord.
Black. It was, I think,
whichever, the young Lord that came to vie for her hand, and she was like a child, and that dude was not that much younger than her. She's not gonna go and marry someone who is, I think she was 16 at the time that Aegon was born. She's not gonna do that.
Well,
I'm just
the
saying.
perfect person, really, to be quite honest, it was a little creepy when we watched this season 1 when he was having, because I saw somebody play it again on TikTok when Viserys was having the meeting with Rhaenys' daughter. What was her name again?
Lena.
Lena. I know she was about 7. However, if he could have just waited, you know what I'm saying? Daemon married her later on. That would have been the perfect match right there. The conversation they were having and stuff, I'm like, yeah, she's fierce. That would have been great if you could have just waited, man. Heal from your wife. Know that in a few years you're gonna marry her when she becomes
Because
of
what was she? She
age.
was 13, wasn't she?
Who,
You
Lena?
pushing it.
Yeah, when they
No,
offered her hand,
at the
I think she was
time,
13.
at the time that they were bringing her to him as a prospect, I think she was 11 because
11.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
there was that
Mhm.
conversation about they wouldn't have to consummate until she had bled, which would probably be in about 2 years.
Yeah,
So
she
yeah,
said 14.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if he could have just waited, he could have just waited.
Because Alicent wasn't that much older than
No,
her.
she wasn't. No, she wasn't.
She really
So
wasn't.
if he could have just waited, you know what I'm saying? We could have still got a son. That would have been later. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Then and that would have stuck all into the family right there. But instead, you listened to your hand and married his daughter. Your daughter's best friend. You thought that was gonna work out for you?
But yeah, so Baylor put him in his place. He's gonna be Hand. And things should look up on the small council.
Yeah,
And,
because anytime he walks into the room, they shut the fuck up.
Right, which he honestly should have been there all along.
but he's the only one, but him, Daemon, and Rhaenys were the only ones who had any battle experience.
Right.
That other than that, they haven't been doing anything.
Mm-mm. No.
Mm-mm.
So hopefully, okay. So now you've offered Driftmark to Bayla. I would name you heir. She's already told you no, that's not me. So now are we going to have the conversation with Adam and Alan of Hull to see, okay, so I know you guys know that you are my sons. And like, is that a conversation that we're about to have now?
It's gonna have to be, and I think he's gonna do it because that was like the last thing that Rhaenys said to him.
Yeah.
You know, you need to lift them up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
He
think he's
shouldn't be
going,
hiding him among the tides.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And Rhaenyra as queen can actually legitimize them, and it would be good. It would work.
and it would make more sense than him having Joffrey
Mm-hmm.
as his heir because one, Joffrey is young. Corlys is not a young man. Something could happen to Corlys, especially because he's already been near death once. So it's not gonna take much. If something happens to him now, your heir is all the way in the Vale. What is he gonna do there?
Mm.
So yeah, I think having which one?
It's a smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And which one is the oldest? Alan.
Yes,
Okay,
Alan's
so
old.
yeah,
The
and
ball.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
they're not twins, are they?
No, I
Okay,
don't think so. Mm-mm.
okay. So yeah, I mean it makes sense. Alan is experienced. He's one of his sailors.
He's salt in the sea.
He is salt and sea, like through and through.
He's Corliss.
Right.
Right. So okay, let's come on over to the greens and let's talk about them for a little bit.
Okay,
First
let's talk
thing,
about Crispy Cole.
yes, I was gonna say, first thing I want to say is Cole parading made Lisa's head through the city did not go the way that he thought it was gonna go.
Correct.
Because all those people are looking like, I mean, you can hear the background conversations. They were like, "Oh, that's a bad omen. Wait, they killed the dragon? Like, what the fuck are they?" Nobody was pleased about this. Everybody looked horrified. Everybody looked like, "Oh, you about to bring some shit down on our heads." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Do they not know that we won?" And what was it Gawain said? If it was a strange type of victory, if that's what it was.
Yeah. And I think one of the people in the background said, what is Rhaenyra gonna do? Like, oh God, this is
Yeah,
Right.
you think
You
Rhaenyra is
bring
gonna
down the
go
dragon, and
unanswered?
right,
right.
another dragon is going to come.
Yeah.
Mm.
But okay, so that leads us to the king, Aegon. That was so okay.
My boy's in bad shape.
Yeah, he don't deserve that now. He don't
He's in bad
deserve
shape.
that.
He was
He
hooked,
don't deserve that.
hooked inside that.
Hooked inside that armor.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
to peel it off.
We were
Ugh.
talking about how different dragon fire is from regular fire. That was Valerian steel he melted.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
The armor was Valerian.
Yes.
Mm.
And they had to reset a broken leg. Wow.
And he didn't
And
make any noise when they did it.
That
he's
means he is out.
unconscious.
He's out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He is out.
Out of it.
And you got Alicent sitting there looking worried. Now, first of all, when they're on the rooftop, she and Aemond are on the rooftop while they're parading Melissa's head. She's just looking at Aemond like, I know you had something to do with this.
He's just smirking.
But you know what? I think he's like, I feel like he's kind of reining it in, because if you look at his face, he's trying to be very neutral.
He's trying.
He trying, but it's just a little tilt. It's a little tilt of that mouth right there where he's on there. The little tilt. And then it didn't help when Alicent saw the knife.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like 16 years old. What 16-year-old can hold their joy for making an accomplishment? He's struggling to hold it in.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
But it's
So
like,
sad.
and I hate to say it like this, but even with Aegon being in the position he is in, I kind of sort of felt like her concern for him was not necessarily as a mother with a son. She was more concerned about who is going to rule in his stead. And she's so worried about it being Aemond that she's like, oh, this can't happen. Is he going to live? Is he going to be okay? Like, I just did not get maternal, oh my God, it's my son. That I didn't get that feeling from her. And again, stark difference from what we see over on the Black side with Rhaenyra and Jace. And
right.
even with her little ones when she was sending them off last week, it's just a complete contrast. But when Alicent goes to Cole and does ask him, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and does ask him about what happened, Cole looks freaked out. He's just sitting there like cleaning his sword. And like you said, Michelle, it's probably PTSD, but also at the same time, that motherfucker's scared. Because you're sitting here thinking Aemond is going to come to your aid and do what needs to be done so y'all can win this victory. Now, I understand Aegon showing up a little bit different, but I don't even think Cole understood the amount of animosity that Aemond has towards his brother. And then he wasn't there in the small council room when they had that little exchange last week. Cole was already gone.
Mm-hmm.
So he does not get it. So for him to actually sit there and visually watch Aemond attack the king, I think Cole was like, okay, if he will attack his brother, he won't even hesitate to kill me. That's his flesh and blood.
And it's not a kill where it is like, I have a chance. Well, I definitely have a chance. I'm Crispy Cole. I have a chance in combat hand to hand. This is not hand to hand anymore.
Mm-mm.
There is no. I mean, it's bringing a gun to just a fist fight. I mean, like you're like just not equipped for this at all. It is not what you thought it to be.
And that's why I think his later conversation with Alicent, he was like, he probably was like, I kind of spared you from this. Like, would you really want to rule over the trash that's about to happen?
Right.
But
like,
not only that,
you
do you have the stomach to make those decisions to do those type of atrocities? He's like, I'm trying to make it so that I think in his way, he feels like he was protecting her. He was trying to, I guess, again, in Criston Cole terms, he's trying to keep her pure in that sense. Like, he already knows, oh, Aemond, if Aemond has to burn everything down, Aemond will do it with no problem, probably with no guilt. Alicent will probably feel guilty, and I think he's trying to spare her from that because, again, Cole, I think, is also internalizing some guilt because you thought you had a good plan. Oh, I'm just going to get this dragon here. We're going to make them surrender. Everything is good.
Right. But
But
what you saw.
Part of your plan was, oh, I'm going to lure one of these dragons. He probably was hoping it was going to be Rhaenyra because Cyrex is the smallest dragon out of all the living dragons right now. He probably thought, oh, okay, we'll get Rhaenyra, get Vhagar to kill her and Cyrex, and this will be over with.
It's over.
Right. Completely over. The men still on the field. You to be in the midst of what he saw makes me think of the last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones when they saw what happened and you were in the midst of that. Like people being like that fire, the heat of the fire when it burns, the smell of how those people smell when they burn.
The fact that you went to this soldier on the battlefield thinking it was a soldier, and when you touched the armor, it just completely fell apart.
Right.
Because that's how hot the dragon fire was.
And we're bringing that to our doorstep.
Right.
So yeah, I'm protecting you because you have no idea.
Yeah.
And if you did, would you be able to say, sure, let's burn down the kingdom? No, you can't. You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't. I don't really want to be a part of this anymore.
And what did he say? We've given the war to the dragons.
We're done. I mean, like soldier wise, it doesn't even matter.
Nope.
It really doesn't.
What happened? You went and got all those soldiers. You went and built up that great army, and you lost 900 of them in a matter of seconds.
Right. So
y'all don't matter.
Yeah, don't. It's however they feel like what they need to do. So you best believe I'm gonna be on the side with the person with the largest dragon.
Yeah, I think Otto may have really been trying to avoid that. Like, I think he knew, just like Rhaenyra knows, you don't want the dragons involved because once the dragons get involved,
it's done. It's a done deal. So, piggybacking off of this or kind of going backwards, let's talk about what started this whole conversation with Alicent and Criston, and it's the small council meeting where they're trying to decide who's going to rule in Aegon's stead because, of course, you can't be unconscious and rule the country. I was so amused and I was so happy when Alicent stood up and tried to say, well, I ruled this kingdom when my Lord husband was sick and I would not, I could do it again. And they were like, that's not going to work. And when she thought she could get her two quote unquote allies, the ones that she has traded sexual favors for, I guess she thought that was going to put them on her side, but Lord Larys made the most sense when he told her. He said, it should be Aemond. He said, the whole point of this war is because we didn't want a queen to ascend. It would not look good
right
to all of a sudden put you in charge, because if we're going to put you in charge, then why shouldn't Rhaenyra be in charge? Like, that's the whole reason we are killing family members and dragons are burning soldiers. That's the whole reason. And then when she
It was
listened to
great.
Cole was like, because he was really trying not to get in this
Stay
conversation.
out of it. But Laris was like, but
let's check with your
the
boo
hand.
thing.
What do you think?
Right. And he was like, it should be Aemond. And they are correct. Because again, at this point, y'all got the dragons involved. She don't know nothing about controlling no dragons. She don't know nothing about riding no dragons. She does not know about the horrors and atrocities they just unleashed. Aemond has firsthand experience because he is the reason they're sitting in that room in the first place, even though nobody else knows it. I'm sure Alicent has figured it out. But is she gonna really confront him and be like, oh, you were the one? You really think she about to do that? No.
Mm-mm.
And again, I hate
Not that one. Like
not that one, but
that
also
Aegon,
too,
you gave it to him last week. You really need to give it to Aemond.
she ain't gonna
Don't
give
be
it to Aemond
afraid.
because
Don't be
Aemond
afraid of him.
ain't gonna listen to her because again, the way that she speaks about Aemond, she's like, she's really what was it? I saw one of the memes and it says, look, it was of her looking at Aemond on the top of the castle saying, Alicent realizing she drank the moon tea for the wrong child. And I was like, that was so wrong because again, Aemond is the way Aemond is because of the lack of mothering Alicent did with him. She allowed Aegon and Jace and Luke to bully him and to tease him as a child. You know, the only time that she really showed any type of motherly instinct that I can recall is when he lost his eye. And she was more so pissed off because the offense was not being punished.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so for her saving face and what the optics of it would look like. I don't think it was necessarily because of, oh, this is my baby boy and blah blah. No. Aemond is the way he is because of the way y'all raised them. Period, point blank. You should have been more of a mother instead of trying to be queen first and then mother second. And I understand that's kind of the way royalty works. I know that's one of the reasons why, like, in our own modern day world, that's why the British royals had such a problem with Princess Diana, because she was like, oh no, I'm a mother first. And she displayed that every chance she got. Same thing. So you should have been more of a mother to your children. And then maybe Aemond wouldn't sit here and be all trying to kill his brother so he can have the throne. He was probably more suited for the throne anyway. And then I'm watching the little documentary series that they have called The House That Dragons Built. And it talks about, it's like small 20-30 minute episodes. And they talk about just the different decisions they've made with the story and talking about how they built the sets and all this other stuff. And there's a part where they have the kid actors speaking from the first part of the first season, and you see like the different little dialogue they have. And I was reminded of the conversation that they had at Lena's wake when Helena is on the ground and she's messing around with something, and Aegon is like, I gotta marry her. And Aemond was like, she's still, she's our sister. You can't think about, because I think he said something negative about the way she behaves. And Aegon was like, well, you marry her then. And he said, I would to do my duty, but I'm not the one who's going to be king or something like that. But I think Aemond is probably better suited to all of this than Aegon was, even from the beginning. But because he's second son, y'all treated him like trash. Y'all
And
treated
then
him like he's disposable. And
right.
now,
And then he ended up with the biggest dragon ever.
right.
That didn't help the situation.
No. Because who gonna tell him no?
Nobody.
Nobody. So now you got all the small council people who have agreed that Aemond should be in charge. And Aemond picked up that marble, put it in the thing, and literally started. okay, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Meanwhile, Alicent over there huffing and puffing, and they made sure we could hear her disgust and how mad she was. But I'm sorry, bitch, you brought this on yourself.
You created
Yep,
this
you
situation.
did.
You
And then
created this monster.
especially when he said, let's close the gates. Then she looked like, what the hell?
Oh, and cut the fucking rat catchers down.
They closed the gates. That was a Cersei move. We're gonna close the gates and keep the people in.
Yeah.
And basically hold them as human shields.
Yep. And the crazy thing is they haven't made any kind of announcement to the people, but when they said who ordered the gates closed, some of the people were like, wait, are they talking about the king or his brother? Like, what's going on with the king? Why is Prince Aemond giving the orders? Y'all about to have a whole bunch of chaos in the Red Keep. It's about to be a shit show because y'all want to sit here and keep secrets and don't tell it. Just like y'all, did y'all tell anybody why y'all strung up all the rat catchers? Or did that just happen to come from word of mouth? Like, what are y'all? It's about to be a shit show. And Aemond is in charge.
Yep. And Daemon earlier said, y'all don't want Aemond One Eyes King. Y'all think I'm bad.
Right. Spitting image, only younger. It's about to be a mess.
See, Aemond don't give vague orders. He's gonna order exactly what he wants to happen.
Yeah, and he
and
doesn't care about
he's been plotting this. He's been sitting here like, okay,
he cares about nobody.
No.
That's the hard part. At least Daemon does care for people.
Well, the one thing we do know about Aemond is he is on a revenge
tour.
Yes,
he on a revenge tour.
All of this is because he wants revenge.
Correct, but he has no background dancers. He has no assistants. It's just him.
Him and Criston.
But you know what?
Him and Crispy Cole.
No, but he will burn him down. He don't care about him. Anybody.
But the scary thing is, I don't think Aemond needs anybody. He doesn't need all that pomp and circumstance and people pumping him up the way his brother had. And
no,
he doesn't need any of that.
Nobody.
It's always been him and him by himself.
Yep.
And that's probably with Vhagar. That's probably how Vhagar bonded with him so easily, because after Laena died, that's probably how Vhagar felt alone.
Yeah. It's about to be nuts. It's about to be nuts. Because again, Aemond doesn't need anybody. Cole is over here scared shitless. Because what you gonna do? Like the first time you are in a room alone with the, what do they call him? The King Regent right now? Is that what he's called? The first time you in a room alone with him, what is that conversation about to be? Are you gonna ask him, did he purposefully roast his brother?
No, you don't say anything. Just like Alicent not saying anything. And how Aemond don't even care that he looked guilty when you the first one to ask who gon' we need someone in charge.
You know what would be jacked up? You know what would be jacked up?
If your brother better.
If they are alone and Aemond looks at Crispy Cole and says, we can't have Aegon saying anything, can we? And you know what that means. What's Crispy Cole gonna do?
He gonna end up, he's going the same way as Sir Eric.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna do this alone.
And they really need some guards. They really need some guards for Aegon. They really do.
Because he's still Lord Commander of the Kingsguard too.
Yeah, they need some guards. Because again, I'm sorry, Aemond may come through that secret door and put a pillow over his brother's head.
I mean, because Aegon can't do shit. But I think the most interesting thing about it was when Aemond was sitting when he was in the throne room and he was just looking at the throne, the way Helena just came up to him and she was like, was it worth the price?
Mm-hmm.
I had the Thanos moment.
Yeah.
What did it cost you?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Was it worth it?
But
Aemon will probably say, I had nothing, and now I have everything. So to him, it is worth it.
Right. And it makes me think of the meme with Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black when they asked him, was it worth it? Yeah. And he said some other things. I mean, you work hard, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. And Eamon did what he had to do. It's worth it for him.
Yeah. But again, as crazy as he may or may not be, he seems more suited for it. Now, I think the interesting thing is going to be seeing him in charge and whether or not he is doing this for his glory or if he's really doing it to protect the realm. That's going to be the interesting.
You know what it's for.
It's games. They don't have nothing to do with protecting the realm.
Jeez.
Come on now.
Oh no. He wants everyone to
have any idea about protecting the realm. That is not his purview. How can we set these people up so I can burn them down and kill them all?
And then everyone else will bend the knee to me. And no one will ever say anything bad to me.
Mm-hmm. And he would be how we thought Daenerys was gonna be. If they disagree with you, burn them.
Right.
If they don't agree with you saying or asking of them, make them agree with you.
Because you didn't even, and we're gonna go back to this. He didn't even have to throw fire. He didn't have to do that. You have a big dragon. I mean, come on. Fight. You didn't even waste the time with fighting.
Because he probably thought, oh, this is one and done.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not really in the war. I'm just killing everybody.
Because again, the soldiers on the ground, they're not paying attention to what's going on in the sky. Some of them were, but most of them were burning.
Yeah.
Had
or running or knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean,
had he succumbed right there on the field, he could have easily said it was Maelys that burned him. That would have fed into the, the little fear.
But he just, he's not caring about the realm. He don't care.
You would hope that he does, but he doesn't.
He don't care.
He doesn't.
Daemon don't care
his goal.
either.
That's not his plan. Nope, neither does Daemon. Daemon doesn't care about the realm. He just wants to be king.
Yeah, because he's like, I was supposed to be next anyway.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to say this. So, Rhaenyra's new BFF, Mysaria.
Love it.
Let me tell you, Mysaria is on a mission. She was like, look, and she's giving Rhaenyra some really good advice.
She is.
She was like, look, you are the queen. There are certain things you can't do, so you let the people around you do those things. Kind of similar to what Daemon was saying, but not in that vein. Like, I'm not telling you to go out and do the horrible things. Now, we don't know what she had Elinda go do, but Elinda was able to sneak back into the Red Keep and go see one of Mysaria's people. I was like, I wonder what they're doing.
And they can do little things like just talking and starting a little revolution.
See, like Mysaria is thinking about, there are more ways to win a war.
Right.
And I think she's talking about propaganda.
Because you got to see, like, these people are starving. They are trying to leave to get food. You lock them in. Some of them are sick, trying to go get help. You lock them in. You know what I'm saying? Then you kill a dragon and parade it around. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is bad luck. Dragon's going to come. I'm trying to leave. You lock them in. And you're not caring. Like you said, you said you was going to pay the blacksmith the money. You never did. His daughter's dying. Like, people going to have issues.
There was...
And Rhaenyra is not going to do those things. She's going to come and save the day.
Right. There was peace during her grandfather's reign. There was
Peace
peace
for her
during her
father.
father's reign.
But when her
But
brother
then when
came
she
along,
was, everybody in the kingdom knew that she was going to be queen, and all of a sudden, Aegon is king, and everything is now a shit show.
Right.
So the people gonna be like, first of all, maybe Rhaenyra should be queen.
right?
Like, what are we doing here?
Because they don't sound happy
They
with
are
what's
not.
going on in King's Landing, and the fact that instead of saying Aemond was the one who killed Meleese, y'all are saying that King Aegon is the one that killed Meleese. And again, they're looking like the fuck you can, because for the people of the city, the dragons are like gods. You know, you kill one of them, it's gonna
That's
be
not.
bad luck.
That's not a
Right
good
for
sign.
us.
And so now you're saying, oh, the king did this. So anything bad that happens from that point on, they're going to be pointing fingers at Aegon. He going to wake up, maybe. But when he does wake up, or if he does wake up, he's going to wake up to a whole bunch of people cursing his name and being against him. He's going to be like, what the fuck did I
do? Well, you also, killed all the rat catchers too. So that didn't help
No,
also.
just the ones that worked in Red Keep, not all.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I mean, but
it's
if
still
anybody
plenty.
knows why he did that, that could be something that's like they came into your home and killed your
But we got that. Like, people understand, but those people don't understand because again, they're not a part of it, and you got people mourning their relatives that are still hanging. Finally, they cut them down. Yeah. So with all of this going on, with the regular folks, yeah, they're ready to turn. Right. Because it's not working out in their favor at all.
Speaking of cutting down the rat catchers. Oh, go ahead. What'd you say, Anthony?
I was gonna say one thing Massaria knows is she knows how word on the street works.
And how people feel.
And people talking. And it also doesn't help that Laris had the rumor going around about Alicent and Aemond conspiring against Aegon.
Yeah. Because
I'm trying to figure what is Laris playing at? Like, what is his end game? Is he really being like Littlefinger, like chaos is a ladder? Or does he have a plan? I'm confused. I don't want to say I'm confused. I just don't see what his objective is.
I don't know.
It's weird. I don't know.
But the other thing I was gonna say, just a little piece, talking about the rat catchers. Am I the only one who was feeling so sad for Cheese's dog? Because that dog has been sitting there.
He's still following him. Still following.
They put him on the cart to wheel him out the city, and he is still following him. And all I can think of is that dude kicked that. The last thing he did for that dog was he kicked him.
And then now I have no owner.
I feel so bad. But oh goodness, so much. So much. Oh, we gotta talk about Rhaenyra in the Vale with Lady Jane Eyre. Because
what did she say? I asked for a dragon. You got dragons. Yeah, not our fault you didn't specify the size.
I mean, she was telling the truth. But Jane Eyre, she looked like she gonna be a little spitfire too. I like her a lot better than Lysa. I will say that.
Wait, so was Daemon's wife her sister? Was that what that was?
Maybe a cousin.
Okay.
I think she was a cousin.
Okay.
But so being in the Vale is so weird because to me, all of the scenes that took place there in the Game of Thrones show, it was just like there's always so much tragedy there, and it's just so Lysa Arryn is just permanently stamped in my head because of how weird she was. And you sit here still breastfeeding a child of 12.
Poor Robin. Poor Robin. Fly, Robin, fly. Get out of there.
But So I don't know much about the history of the veil. How important, from what you remember, how important is Lady Jane to the story and to what's going on here?
The Knights of the Vale are probably one of the strongest fighting forces
Okay.
in Westeros.
Okay.
And the Vale is basically an impenetrable fortress.
Mm-hmm. Except for
From
dragons.
this
It's up from
from
the
the
sky.
sky.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of those, yeah, it's one of those places. But mainly the Knights are are really, really good.
Okay. We don't have
So
to worry about her turning on Rhaenyra because she didn't get any full-size dragons. I mean, I understand her being upset about that, but baby, they need all the fighting dragons over there at Dragonstone.
I've never known House Aaron to not be, to not be loyal
Okay.
and not go with their oaths. House Aaron has always been pretty straightforward.
Okay. Okay.
Lysa was crazy.
And a lot of that had to do with Littlefinger,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
Littlefinger really made her paranoid, and I I don't know, his BDE just kind of also added to it because she was like fiending for him something off, like, this man is in love with your sister, but you still won't. Anyway,
Yeah.
Lysa has some issues, but I guess that's what happens when you marry young girls off the old men. Because Alicent ain't gonna be too far behind, especially if they're treating her the way that she should have expected them to treat her. Like, you really thought they were gonna let you be in charge? And
She
what was
really
it?
did.
What was it?
She
Old
really
boy
did.
said. He said you fulfilled your duties admirably
Admirably.
in a time of peace. And then she gonna get sarcastic with him. Oh yes, I forgot. You have never had to deal with war. And like they said, Aemond is a dragon rider. So they're like, yeah, he probably needs to be the one to lead us because, again, what is she really gonna do? Except she's not gonna go off half cocked drunk on a dragon and try to put herself in the fray.
But the
But
only problem with that is he's gonna be if he goes out on his dragon, he's taking a chance. And that's the whole point of Rhaenyra not leaving
Mhm.
Dragon Mountain, her dragon.
but
It,
again, you're talking about Vhagar versus Cyrax.
I know, but you still you still got Daemon out there,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and Daemon, if Daemon and Rhaenyra teamed up against Vhagar, Vhagar will probably lose
Yeah, because we do
because
see
they're both
Vhagar is not
faster.
Yeah.
invincible because
Right,
they at least did considerable damage.
right,
hmm They have to plan it out.
right. And even Daemon knew that when he was talking to Rhaenys. He was like, "You and I could take Vhagar,
Mm-hmm.
like they're because their dragons are faster,
Yeah,
and two of them against Vhagar wouldn't have a chance. Vhagar's too slow."
yeah.
hmm
And Melis was also the largest dragon they had on their side.
Yeah.
So, but um, so I guess Alicent and Cole are broken up now because he tried to call her by her first name. She said, "I did not give you leave to call my name." You mad because he didn't side with you, boo boo?
Right. Give her a couple of days, honey. Give her a couple of days.
But I mean, again, I don't like Criston. I'm ready for him to die. But he told her, he was like, what we must do now is terrible. I think I spared you from that. And she was like, I
Yeah.
didn't ask to be spared. Oh, believe me, you're gonna appreciate it.
Honey, you not made for
You ain't
this.
built for this. Mm-mm. At all. But she'll learn.
Mm-mm.
The fact that I don't think she appreciates. I don't know if the only people who appreciate this is probably going to be the people on the dragons. They're all family. Like it's all one family,
It is.
and they're going to be killing each other.
Uh-huh.
That's
Kinslayer,
crazy.
It
Kinslayer,
is.
Kinslayer.
Hmm?
I said
Kins,
kinslayer,
they're all
kinslayer.
gonna be kinslayers.
Right. And taking the dragons out of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Aegon the Conqueror, like, be rolling, rolling,
Yeah.
rolling, and triple.
He's doing cartwheels in his grave.
Yes, knowing this and what they all did for their family line. Like, and this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just and this was another one of those not slow episodes, but it was one of those that didn't have a lot of action because we needed to see the aftermath of what happened at Rook's Rest. And
oh, and speaking of family on dragons killing each other, Jace's conversation with Rhaenyra at the end.
Yeah.
We need dragon riders.
And
he's like, we got three dragons with no riders. We got to find them.
Yep.
And she looked at all those scrolls. There has to be records somewhere.
Yep.
And I was thinking, I know people don't probably like us referring to the show, but I think in the books, Robert Baratheon's claim to the throne is because his grandmother was a Targaryen. And so there are people with Targaryen blood walking around everywhere.
And they actually named some familiar names in that conversation, because one of the names she said, I can't remember what it was. She was like, oh, so we should dig into our lives to see if blah blah is a dragon rider. He was like, it's what he said. He was like, it's better than being dead. And I was like, I love him, but he's got a point. And then when she started thinking about it, and again, this conversation with her and Jace, because the way she always is, she's always very regal, always very formal. You almost never see her like really smile and let her guard down. And in this one, she sat there, she was like playing with her ear, thinking. I was like, look at her. She's like so relaxed right now. And she's like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. She named what? She named Tarly, and she named a couple of other houses. She was like, yeah, you know what? That might actually work, because other than that, they really don't have a choice.
They don't.
Because all of the living Targaryens at this point, Aegon is in traction. Aemond is, I mean, technically speaking, he is. He can't do anything. Aemond has Vhagar. Yes, Helena's dragon. I mean, we've never even seen her.
Helena is not finna get on no dragon and go to no fight.
I really don't think so. I don't think so.
No, she's not.
And then Jacerra, or is it Jaehaera? Jaehaera, the other twin, too young. Again, we haven't seen anything about Maelor. We don't even know if Maelor actually exists in this timeline.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Right. So, okay, that's it on that side of the Targaryens, right? I'm not forgetting anybody. Now, you have Rhaenyra, who has her dragon. You have Jace, who has his, because even though, yes, he's a Velaryon, he's still a Targaryen. You got Baela. Rhaena doesn't have a dragon, but I don't know. They said something in this one, and I think we were talking last week about the fact that Rhaena doesn't have a dragon, and Rhaenyra said something in this one. They were talking about needing riders for the dragons, and I think Jace.
Oh, if Rhaena was trying and she almost died.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, what happened?
She's probably been trying to one of the dragons that don't have rider. Silverwing, because it's Silverwing. He named Silverwing, and he named Vermithor.
And Vermithor.
And yeah, if they don't want you, if they don't like you, yeah, they will attack you.
That poor baby is the squib of dragon riders. But yeah, so the only other things that we know is the two other people who are part Targaryen, half Targaryen, whatever, that they've introduced, which was Ulf, right? That was his name, Ulf. And then Hugh the Hammer, which I don't know how he's related to the Targaryens. Like, is he another bastard brother? Is he a distant cousin? Like,
they just say we just are assuming he's a bastard. We just
okay.
don't know
Yeah, with
who's
his hair.
bastard.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then at this point, like, even though Ulf has privately, I won't necessarily say pledged for Rhaenyra, but he has privately stated that Rhaenyra was the true heir and the true queen. Hugh, I would assume, would probably go to Rhaenyra's side if needed because of the fact that he's living in the Red Keep right now. He sees how deplorable conditions are. He might find that as motivation to say, fuck Aegon and let me go over here. But at the same time, he might blame Rhaenyra because the sea snake is the one that's cutting off all the food to the city. So it's kind of like, I guess those two would be up in the air. So yeah, I guess the hunt is on for dragon riders. Now it's going to be interesting because what if some of these dragon riders are people who have not declared for Rhaenyra? Then that's going to be a problem because if they figure out, oh, I have enough Targaryen in me to be a dragon rider, then that might give more dragons to Aegon's side, or excuse me, Aemond's side at this point.
It's a risk they have to take. It makes me wonder, maybe they haven't thought about Corlys's bastards. So maybe they don't know.
They don't know. So they're about to go look and
Corlys
then call.
might be the one to bring it up if Corlys is going to be hand of the queen and Rhaenyra shares this plan with him. Corlys might be the one to be like, okay,
I got a couple. Yeah, because
because
they're about to make the call.
Are also dragon riders, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
So they about to send out some owls. I'm sorry,
Ravens. This is not.
I'm just making a joke. Out that we need some people to try.
They have to come see Ollivander.
Yeah, they gotta come try.
The dragon doesn't choose the rider. I mean, the rider doesn't choose the dragon. The dragon chooses the rider.
Yes. Maybe we'll get a montage of people, trying to get on dragons
and getting their heads bitten off too. That should be fun.
Yeah, because you see in the preview for next week, Rhaenyra does say something about, choosing to be a dragon rider is also choosing to risk your life. Like, they may not like you. They may say, no, we don't want this person. However, lunch,
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Which made it even more special when now that Jon rode the dragon and it was easy for him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Also, I'm just going to say this little tidbit, but that also makes it interesting about the fact that they allowed Tyrion to approach them and touch them. And
true that.
But that's a whole other thing. We're not gonna get into the weeds. Did we cover everything on this episode?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we hit them all.
Okay. So we are halfway through the season now. So shit is about to ramp up.
Right. And I'm like, what else? What more?
More people have to die.
Fights?
I mean, and then we're gonna have a season 3. That's what I'm saying. So you're gonna have to kind of stretch this out. Because where does season 3 end? You get what I'm saying? Does season 3 end?
I think season 3 is going to be the last season.
I believe so. But where would it end?
It's going to end with Rhaenyra becoming queen.
It can't. It maybe needs to end like further down the line.
It's probably going to be another
like
time.
A fast forward jump of like what happened, and someone telling the story. This is what happened during this time. I don't know. It's just very interesting
because I believe they're saving the big battle. There's one more big dragon battle between Aemond and Daemon.
And Daemon.
They're gonna save that for season 3.
They have to. But then there's shit that happens afterwards.
Well, they have a bunch of other
the
stuff.
King's Landing stuff I think is gonna take place.
That's season 3.
I know. I mean, I believe that too. Because I mean, but then there's some other stuff after that too. So it's like
we still gotta get the Riverlands in order. I think that's gonna be this season. I think this season is gonna end.
But that's Dragon. Now, get in order or not? I mean, at this point.
No, I think this season is going to end with them securing, with the blacks securing the Riverlands.
Okay.
And that's gonna spell dire straits for the Greens, which is gonna lead us to the next season.
Okay.
Because Aemond is gonna have to do something about that. Because even with the dragons, that the Riverlands, the Vale, and the North, and the Twins, all of that is going to be on the Greens.
Right.
I mean, on the black side, and that's I don't. And then the dragons pretty much even each other out. So,
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Burn the entire kingdom? I wouldn't put it past Aemond to do that.
I feel like we can wrap that up in 2 episodes. We can do the dragon ride.
Did you not watch Game of Thrones? They can stretch crap out for years.
I totally understand.
Because there's a lot of things that they can fit in. Like, we still have to see how the North is gonna come into play.
We still got to see what Old Town and the High Towers do, and we still got and Darion. Darion's got to come with his dragon.
Because they mentioned him too many times this season.
Yeah, we got to be introduced to him. So that's 4 more episodes. They're going to finish that up.
Anything about any of the families where they fall in the Reach? We don't know anything about where their loyalties lie. We know the High Towers control Old Town, but we don't know where any of the other lords in the Reach.
I am just trying to help out the people
the Tarleys and what was Marjorie? What was she? Tyrell's Dorne. You got Dorne again, out there.
Again, I'm going with the friends who thought the episodes that don't have dragons really flying dull. I don't have a problem with this being the next 4 episodes, but we got to have something else in there.
I'm sure they're gonna.
We can't afford to lose anybody right now either.
Did you not watch the last 2 to 3 seasons of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, like those of us who are here, we are here. We ain't going nowhere.
I know. I'm saying there's different showrunners.
Because I mean, even with the 8th season of Game of Thrones, when it started going down, we were all there to the very
and we're still there to the end, trying to explain it. That's why we need to have another podcast of revisiting the end, the complete story. Seeing this story, I have thoughts, ideas. They try to help guide how it ended a little bit from this story. Some comparisons.
Well, you know what? If you can figure out a way to clone us all and give us extra days.
No, this will be it'll be when we do the last episode, just 30 extra minutes at the end. That's all we need.
That might be something to consider.
That's something
to wrap up House of the Dragon. That might be something.
Right.
To consider. Okay.
Look, and it could be season 3.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah, the end of season 3.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything from Dorne. Like, we got one Dornish man.
Are we going to from Dorne?
You know,
I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize he was from Dorne.
They do, because they wasn't even part of Aegon the Conqueror's war. Like, they stayed.
They went there.
They did, and they said, back up.
They like the North. They're like, look, that's y'all's business over there. We over here.
Right. That's what they did. You know what I'm saying? Alone. He did have one of his wives flying over there. And I think I
do remember that story.
Right. And I think that's where she died too. So I think we just need to leave Dorne alone. Like, just Dorne alone. Oh, they're their own people.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be good to see some starts coming.
I want to see Craig Stark again.
Yeah, because yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying because it's
No, he needs to be
We just don't need
he needs to be in the
we
story.
just don't need Cregan and Jace in the same room at the same time. I don't know if y'all can handle that.
it was they did good casting choice with him because like we said when we were introduced to his character, he really kind of felt like what we know of the Starks. You know, he was
Mhm.
Yeah.
very much giving off that vibe. So I just
Mhm.
want to see how he plays. Again, I'm a little fuzzy on some of the details, and then also I didn't finish Fire and Blood, so I don't know exactly where they fit in the story. But it's the North, you know, they got to show up in some form of fashion.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
He said he's sending 2,000 graybeards,
beards,
but I'm sure some of those graybeards are going to be bringing some grandsires and not grandsires, some
grandsons, and yep,
grandsons and some cousins who up for a fight. So let's see, I can go to war with you, or I can go to the wall. I'm
mm-hmm.
coming with you, you
Right,
know.
right. I agree.
So that 2,000 is probably going to bloom pretty quickly.
Yeah. So and now they have passage to get to cross the twins. So all
Mm,
right. So yeah, I think we'll get at least one bloody soldier battle before the end of this season.
yeah,
Yeah.
no dragons. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, I think we had enough carnage from the dragons this season.
You know
We're
what?
going to see attempting to fly a dragon. So we're going to get an episode of How I Trained My Dragon.
All right. And on that note,
Wait, two episodes.
2 episodes. Okay. Well, on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.